Was Shanquella Robinson stolen from this world because of a failed blackmail plot? Shanquella was a 25-year-old business owner from Charlotte, North Carolina, who created her own lane in hair braiding and fashion, which supported a lifestyle filled with travel and fun with family and friends. And in late October 2022, Shanquella demonstrated the generosity of spirit she was known for by booking a villa in Cabo, Mexico, to help celebrate the birthdays of two of those whom she thought were friends, Dejanay Jackson and Nazir Wiggins.
Tell us about your daughter.
Well, Shanquella was sweet, very kind. She had a heart of gold. She loved everybody. She didn't mistreat nobody. Never, no one could possibly ever say anything bad about her because she was a good person.
Shanquella arrived with plans for fun and games for the weekend getaway, while the others had allegedly one thought in mind: how they could take what was hers. And less than 24 hours after arriving in Cabo, Shanquella Robinson was stolen from this world by 6 fake friends, allegedly. We've all heard the timeline, how on Friday, October 28, 2022, Shanquella arrived in Cabo with 5 others whom she had attended Winston-Salem State University with: Khalil Cook, Malik Dyer, Winter Donovan, Elise Hyatt, and Dejanay Jackson. And after getting settled in and adding a few posts to her social media, she also called her mom, Shanquella Robinson, who said she seemed to be in good spirits. Through various IG stories shared with others, we know that the group then settled down for a taco dinner prepared by a private chef and possibly partied the night away before turning in. They must have slept late, because from the leaked video that proves to the world that this was no accident, it looks as if Shanquella was allegedly awakened from her sleep on Saturday, October 29th, and set upon by her so-called friends, still in their pajamas. With at least 2 people that we know of recording the setup, while Dejanay Jackson allegedly got in over 20 licks and proceeded to manhandle the defenseless and unclothed Shanquella around the room. All of the friends were heckling, throwing shady remarks, and doing absolutely nothing to help Shanquella. From that point, it's alleged that the other women in the room took turns in the ambush until about 2:45 p.m. Mountain Time, when Shanquella was left unresponsive after, according to a second video, Winter Donovan allegedly followed Shanquella into the restroom and delivered the slam that caused her spine and neck to crack and break. The fake friends allegedly panicked and called another friend to find out what to do. They came up with the story of alcohol poisoning, moved Shanquella into the living room of the villa, and at around 3:30 p.m. or 4 p.m., Khalil, who was supposed to be Shanquella's best friend and the only one who the family actually knew, called Mrs. Robinson to tell her that her daughter wasn't feeling well, and they thought she had alcohol poisoning because they couldn't find a pulse. After this call was made, they allegedly called for help because, according to Shanquella's sister, Khalil called back less than 30 minutes later, saying that there were 3 medics in the room who were trying to resuscitate Shanquella, but he couldn't really see what was happening because they were all made to stand outside. It was also during this phone call that Khalil informed them that Shanquella had passed. Initially, when authorities saw the bruised and broken Shanquella Robinson, they said that there was no clear evidence of foul play, and the fake friends returned to North Carolina on Sunday, October 30th, with Shanquella's belongings minus $10,000. And they picked up the various threads of their lives, with Khalil and 2 of the girls from the trip even going so far as to visit with and hug Shanquella's family upon their return and reiterate the story of alcohol poisoning. Meanwhile, Shanquella's parents began receiving phone calls from friends who were not on the trip, informing them that the girls had ambushed Shanquella in Cabo. During one of his daily visits, the family asked Khalil about this, and he told them no, it was alcohol poisoning. The family received more calls about the ambush and were also told there was even a video recording of it. They asked Khalil again, and this time he said he wasn't in the room when the ambush happened, so he doesn't know anything about it. The family then saw the video themselves and discovered that not only was Khalil there for the ambush, but this supposed friend did absolutely nothing to help Shanquella. They tried to reach out to Khalil again, but haven't heard from him since. After making constant outreaches to the authorities, Shanquella's parents eventually received an autopsy report that refuted any claims of alcohol poisoning and informed them that their daughter had sustained a broken neck and cracked spine and had passed at 3 p.m. within 15 minutes of sustaining the injuries. This was definitive proof that those posing as friends had been lying all along. From that point, the posers scattered like roaches and turned on each other like rats. Another poser, Nazir Wiggins, took to IG Live to explain how he didn't get to the villa until Saturday afternoon at about 3:26 p.m. Mountain Time, after calling the group to get the address. He was told on the phone that Shanquella had alcohol poisoning, and apparently once he arrived, made a video showing he was there and went straight to Shanquella, who was in the game room, where he proceeded to rub her head and tell her to get up so they could have fun to celebrate his birthday. Now, we won't mention the fact that according to the autopsy report, Shanquella was gone by 3 p.m. Or that apparently, according to Nazir, after this, she was able to move from the game room to the living room, where he put on some soft music and continued to rub her head while waiting for the nurse to arrive as the others cooked something to eat. Let's forget about the fact that he said he didn't leave her side until the nurse came an hour after he arrived, but in the next breath made sure to let us know that he was told a maid found Shanquella slumped over the toilet in her room. He swore on an orange Bible that despite seeing a bump on Shanquella's lip and a busted blood vessel in her eye, he had no idea that an ambush had taken place. That even though he was constantly rubbing her head, he did not feel the bump on her head. He berated the viewers for accusing him when he was just an innocent soul who had no fun at all, because instead of being able to drink, smoke, or ride ATVs, he had to attend to Shanquella, who wouldn't talk to him or anything. He had the worst time of his life, and people just don't understand what he went through. He came a day late and had to leave the very next day on Sunday without having any fun at all for his birthday. Now, this live not only made Nazir and the others look even more guilty, but it led to the uncovering of an alleged incident in Nazir's past where he secretly videotaped a teenage girl engaging in certain acts, but threatened to release the recording on Twitter in order to coerce the young lady into engaging in those acts with him, after which he released the footage anyway. This seems to draw a straight line to what they were possibly trying to do to Shanquella. Why are there multiple people recording her being ambushed while unclothed? Were they encouraging her to fight back so they could later edit the footage and make it look like she was a willing participant, so that with the threat of exposure and humiliation, they could blackmail this successful businesswoman? Because who would knowingly record themselves being involved in the deletion of someone? Did mob mentality and a jealousy as cruel as the grave escalate this horrific plot to steal money into a stolen life? Due to the persistence and diligence of her family, Shanquella's story has caught mainstream attention, and almost 4 weeks later, the fake friends have deleted or privatized their social media accounts and are nowhere to be found. Mexico has finally decided to investigate the case as a homicide, and the FBI has also opened their own investigation, and as of November 21st, have reportedly given Mexico permission to extradite everyone involved to a Mexican prison facility if evidence is found that leads to arrest. Even though Shanquella has now been laid to rest, there are still many questions left unanswered. But there is one thing that the world is crying out for, and that is swift justice for Shanquella Robinson and her family.